All right, we got Illuminati in here. Not really, but
Allegedly.
I've got three special guests. I'm the fourth special guest, but I'm not going to introduce myself. We're going to be talking about, is Bitcoin crashing? Is it permanent? Actually, Ben here, we've got a crypto blockchain technologist, and he called Bitcoin to 12,000. What, you called it Bitcoin to
I called
12,000?
it on the 16th. I called it to
He called it like 5 days ahead of time.
Important crypto people.
And so there's actually a party that's going to be thrown for him because somebody said there's no way it's going to 12,000, and he called it on the day, and so he's got to leave in a little bit. So pay attention.
Just bacon wrap dates waiting for Ben.
So we got William here. He's been on the show before, and he built the trading desk, the crypto trading desk for Science. He's working on some super secret stuff, and he's a trader himself. So he's training crypto, making tons of money. Can't say how much, but more than $1 a day.
May or may not be.
May or may not be. Got Dan. Those of you in my private mastermind know Dan. He's one of the instructors, and he's going to talk a little bit about mining Bitcoin and crypto. He's part of a group that just wired 32 mil?
Big week.
$32 million to buy a new set of or more servers, and they're setting up all around the world mining stuff. So first, let's ask the question. Let's just start, since you called it, Ben.
Yeah. What's the next buy?
No, okay, we're gonna get to that, but move those whiteboards over a little bit more.
Okay.
You don't need to pivot quite that much over.
Cool.
Yeah. Ben, how did you know Bitcoin was gonna go to 12,000? And do you think it's gonna go to zero? A lot of people think it's gonna go to
No,
zero.
I don't think Bitcoin's going to zero. I think there's fundamental value in it. I think there's value in it because it was the first cryptocurrency. I think there's value in it because it's one of the best developed. And I think there's value in it because it has one of the best distributions amongst people. There's so many people that have it that it just means something now.
I want to read you something. Where's my phone?
There's phones everywhere.
I got about 32 phones.
Your particular
Here it
phone
is.
is that you
Here.
use.
So this is somebody, I tweeted today how I thought this article by Bloomberg was idiotic, and I want to get your opinion if I was overreacting. So, I was scrolling through my feed. Bloomberg View, @BV. Sounds like a disease. That's their Twitter. Bloomberg View. Bitcoin has no fundamental value as an asset, -- no stream of future income, no ultimate assurance of liquidity, and no alternative use. And I wrote, this was my kind of response, Bloomberg should be ashamed of themselves. Gold also has no stream of future income and not a lot of highly valuable alternative use. I said, this is such an oversimplified view of how money works. No wonder most people are broke. They're forced to get their information from articles like this. So my point was, yes, Bitcoin is not a stock. No crypto, well, most cryptos are not even similar to the stock, especially Bitcoin's not a company. So yes, don't have a right to a future dividend, but it has other fundamental uses. What are some of the real practical fundamental uses you as a developer, as somebody who's managed, coders and cryptographers that you see happening?
Well, the reason that you use Bitcoin is because so many people have it and so many people have so much of it. So it becomes a basis that it becomes like a mutual territory. So if you look at the evolution of money in general, there was points in our past, like more than 10,000 years ago, where there was the seashell people because seashells weren't common where they were, and there was like the obsidian rock people because that wasn't common where they were, and they'd always pick the scarcest thing in their own environment. But then when they get into interstate trading, they're like, oh wait, like, hey, this is, you go visit the beach people with your sand dollars, and they're like, hey, I gotta show you something.
Right.
Like, we got that for miles, right?
Yes.
And so in this
Can you
world, you
visit
have
them?
to have one
Can
currency
you see
to
him?
back
Sorry.
everything.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to look at it not as the laws of man governing crypto. You have to look at it more like the laws of nature, right? So at some point, 10,000 years ago, everyone around the world started using precious metals because they got sick of not being able to trade because the things they had weren't valuable to other people.
Yes.
And so when that happened, then it started kind of like the first steps towards like fiat currency, what we have now. And that has allowed for a tremendous amount of growth, but it also creates a lot of problems where people can't trust their own currency.
Yeah.
And I think that blockchain technologies and whole host of cryptocurrencies will make up for that gap. And I think that's what it's already doing. People are so scared about the situations globally, and they're so scared about financial markets crashing that they want something that there's a set amount of, that somebody's not just kind of doing hocus pocus with.
So you think the value of Bitcoin is the fact that there'll never be more than 21 million once
And it was the
whole-
first, it's the best distributed. We talk about distribution a lot. in the ICO market,
Yeah.
right? So you can really kill your ICO if you only put like 2 or 3 people in charge of all the assets. If you go to, great if you have giant institutional investors who want to come in, but they shouldn't come in for more than, 10 or 15%, and they should, naturally share some of that as the price is going up and make some profits. If this is a, security type token, which some institutionals might be looking at, versus utility tokens, which they still don't really know what to do with, but, we're looking on some solutions. for that
So
too.
Ben, another question for you. How did you predict accurately that Bitcoin was gonna drop? It was up 19, 18, 20,000. How did you predict 12,000 so accurately to the day? What
Part of that
magic
is
do you
guess-
possess?
So part of that is guesswork, and I'll tell you why. It's about like pop psychology, right? So it's the last day of trading on an exchange floor like CME or CBOE before Christmas. It's 5 days after CME launched.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, crypto, Bitcoin now became something that could be traded in other markets, specifically these future markets.
Yeah, so you're not trading Bitcoin on the futures trading floor. It doesn't create a block in the blockchain. You're trading a synthetic derivative. So you're trading a futures contract. It's a contract to deliver me Bitcoin in the future, right?
So people are can bet against crypto or for,
Or
you
you
could
could
be on
argue
either
that
side.
against-
Yeah.
You could already bet against crypto.
Bloomberg's comment, the Bloomberg thing that you're talking about, is pretty hilarious to me actually, because it sounds an awful lot like what I was hearing from a lot of people 3 or 4 years ago on Wall Street, and that trade didn't really play out well for them. So I don't
That's
really.
true.
it doesn't-
So you
it's
stopped
irrelevant.
listening. You stopped
Yeah.
listening to Bloomberg.
Yeah.
But I thought Bloomberg's the experts. How can they be wrong?
Well, they've been talking about crypto for years, saying it's worth nothing, and as I said, it hasn't played out well. So
Yeah.
I don't really listen.
You have to
them.
understand this is a fundamental shift away from a current system.
Yeah.
The current system will work as a kind of a building block to integrate with these systems, but this is the kind of a hedge against the system in a way. Like the people that are buying Bitcoin are buying it because the system isn't working for them.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, a fundamental difference. Now smart money's getting involved.
It might not always work out. Bitcoin might not always be there. But for now, it's definitely on the trajectory. And then you have projects like Bitcoin Cash, which are awesome, and it's faster and better than Bitcoin. But there's so many people, where Bitcoin.
So here's the problem with Bitcoin Cash. First of all, a lot
Hey,
of
let me stop you one
Yeah.
second because we're going to go down that path at
Yeah.
once. If we go down this, we will never return.
Yeah.
Let
Okay,
me
okay.
quickly get Dan
Yeah,
on,
my-
but hold that. Do not. I must hear what you guys
Yeah.
have to say. Dan, what do you think on crypto, and throw in a little bit of what you're doing on the mining side? Because not all cryptocurrencies need to be mined. Some of them have other proofs, right? Like EOS, for example, is not something you mine, but these big ones that we know of, like Bitcoin, need to be mined, and people are doing that. North Korea, one of the big miners. I don't know if that's something we should speak about, but we may be murdered. We may be assassinated by Kim Jong.
That disappear tie. You can
Yeah,
know
if we
where I
all
am.
disappear, these four. What do you think of the pink sweater, by the way?
I love it, man. It'd be easy to find you if North Korea
This is my beacon to North Korea. Dan, tell us. You showed a screenshot. I posted on my Snapchat. It was how big was that wire?
16 million.
16 million. I'm gonna pull it up while you talk here. So tell us what you guys are doing.
So essentially, it's on the third warehouse. The warehouse has already had 12,000 machines, mostly S9s and L3 pluses for Litecoin. And this week we ordered another 6,000 units, and then today another 4,000 units. So in total, another $32 million today.
You did another 32 million. So this 16 million I'm showing is nothing.
I mean, it's just been a crazy week because normally I would never post about it publicly, but I waited till the right time when they're on their third warehouse. They've got the systems right. They got the cooling systems. They spent $7 million to get like 30 megawatts like set up to handle the electricity and get down to 4 cents a kilowatt hour. All these things I had never understood and I wasn't comfortable with until they were at the right place. And now that they're at the right place and they've got the city behind them, the state behind them, tens of millions of dollars behind them, and nearly $100 million now. I just felt like now was the time I was comfortable with it. So me and a bunch of friends bought a bunch of the machines today.
Congratulations.
So I'm excited about it.
That's cool.
I'm excited.
So you think the future of mining is as strong as ever?
So what's interesting is the reason they're going to have much more technical answers, but because they understand it much better than I do. But from outside looking in, the network is really slow right now, and people are like, "Well, there's so many people mining." the main machines that we bought sold out in 2 hours. There's just not enough mining machines out there, and their next wave that's coming out in March, those are sold out too.
Yeah.
So there's not tens of thousands of amazing machines out there that are mining, but there needs to be, because nobody could have expected tens of millions of new people to start transacting in crypto every single week.
Yeah.
Think about it. 7 months ago, if I would have told you guys to buy Bitcoin, or not you guys, but if I would have told you guys to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum back in March, you would have looked at me like I had 3 heads. Like, what the hell's an Ethereum, right? But now you've got 13 million new Coinbase accounts in a year, and there are 1.3 million customer service complaints back order right now.
Really? Is that what they're at? How'd you like to be working in customer support? You come in for the day, I need to catch up.
I've been waiting for a wire from them for like a week and a half.
Exactly.
Man. Coinbase, can you please
1.3
fix
million?
that?
That has to be some kind of Guinness Book
This
of
much
World
like
Records.
coin on Katie's account, and it was like 11 days.
Yeah, special.
So
Should be using
it
GDAX.
just feels
I
like
know, right?
things are, we just got started. Like, this is the infancy, even though it's been around for 7 or 8 years, this was the setup year.
Yeah.
I mean, when I started first buying, I got in 2014 when I installed the first Bitcoin ATM into a casino. And so I dealt with the state, the city to get them to approve putting an ATM into a casino, because you know how they like
It
to be
is.
involved in the money side. And that was 2014.
Jeez.
Then fast forward to 2017, in March, that's when I really started buying into Ethereum and all these other coins. And to see how people in March and how people in December think about it, it is absolute insanity. We couldn't have done a crypto podcast this summer.
Yeah.
June 17th,
You could have a small one.
right?
No,
It would have
you're absolutely right.
now. People are addicted. That's all they
I
talk
love it.
about. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, this podcast, I was just looking in the iTunes charts. So I launched this just like a couple of weeks ago. If you go in the business, this is number 5. No, mine is my other show. I have 2 shows. I actually have more than 2 shows. But the Bitcoin Crypto Mastermind is number 5 between the 2 NPR shows. It's like insane.
So-
And like, people want to hear about it.
Hungry for
So
crypto.
during Thanksgiving, that was the record-breaking day for the most accounts ever for Coinbase and the other platforms. Think about what's going to happen Christmas Day.
It's
Can't
gonna be
wait.
insane.
People from
Yeah,
all
so
over the
are
world.
you calling Christmas Day is going to be an interesting day?
We got a bull day. We have a bull market starting tomorrow.
Oh yeah, get ready.
All
We have
right.
a bull market starting tomorrow.
We're calling it, so if we're wrong, it's gonna be recorded. Actually, I'm not calling it. We got Dan and Ben. We're calling. What are you calling it?
I'm saying a bull market, baby, and I'm a long-term holder anyway of all
Right,
these cryptos.
exactly.
So
So
The
It's long
conversation
term.
at Christmas just shifted from look what I made a lot of money on to
Yeah.
look what I made a lot of money on. You can get it at a good price right now.
Exactly.
conversation
Jay's
just got
here
one
in the
step
background. He got some interesting stories of what some people are using Bitcoin for. I won't mention that on camera.
Yeah, on Tuesday when the banks reopen after Christmas, it's just going to be a phenomenon.
But remember one thing. One thing about crypto people don't realize: this thing trades. It's not like the New York Stock Exchange.
Right.
This thing's trading after 5 o'clock.
24 hours
It's
a day.
trading on Saturdays.
Crypto
It's
never
got
sleeps. That's my trademark, by the way.
yeah,
I
it's
trademarked
great.
Crypto Never Sleeps. I trademarked it earlier this year.
Listen,
Oh, that's smart. That's
Yeah.
good.
It's so fun. It's so true. Like,
Let's take some questions for the audience because they're pouring in. James Peroto, bull market doesn't start tomorrow. There's one more leg down on Bitcoin, but then it will go to the moon. Bitcoin will test the 13K lows one more time and then go to the moon.
Yeah, I agree
What do you
with
think
that.
about James?
It halves and then it doubles.
It could
so,
happen.
yeah.
We bought back in today because we had a target. So
So I was buying today, so I didn't even know I was doing the right thing.
If it drops again, then we'll put more money in and average down the position all
So-
day.
Yeah.
It's not going to zero.
So let's talk about from a trader standpoint. William's a trader. He was trading since he was 11 years old before there were cryptocurrencies. He, by the way, told his dad to get into ETH at 90
No,
cents.
Bitcoin.
Oh, Bitcoin?
Bitcoin at 200. I said put $2 million in, and he told me he wanted to short it.
oh my God, thank God you didn't do that.
You owe me $699 million. That.
That's his dad has stopped hanging out with him because the only thing he does is remind him how he owes him $699 million. But what, from a trading standpoint, talk about what you guys were doing. You guys were looking at it, and you said you're coming back in as of
Today.
So were you moving out of it a little bit?
Oh yeah, definitely.
oh yeah, I think a lot of people have been. I think a lot of people have been expecting some type of correction.
Yes.
You go through a 2-month bull run, like, you know, there's going to be a correction. I think we actually pushed the correction back.
I love
with all the
corrections.
news.
It's healthy.
I think
We
the
love
correction should have
corrections.
happened at the
Yes.
end of November maybe, and it got pushed back because we had so much good news this month.
Someone say, could you center the camera a little
So
better?
there's an official stat, 6 times this year.
Look at YouTube.
6 times this year, Bitcoin has crashed 30%.
Yeah.
And every single time, it increased from 70 to 260%
Yeah.
within 3 days.
Half, then
You guys
double.
gotta look at
Half,
all of
then
them.
double.
Amazing.
Always.
There's,
That's how this thing does.
then wouldn't the best thing is to pull it back more?
We
So you
lost
should
time.
just pivot this phone. Just that one? Okay. Because when you pivot the other one,
This
keep,
time we lost a similar
gotcha.
30%, so it'll be interesting.
So
what
just
happens.
pivot that and
Yeah,
lock
I
these
always
perfect.
call
Okay.
these like dips as getting shorter and shorter in their length because there's more people that are ready to buy.
Right.
And the big problem is that the exchanges right now, like it's so difficult to get money in and out
Yes.
that there's a delay feature that doesn't exist for people that
Yes.
bank with Merrill Lynch and can just go
Right.
call their broker and say, hey, buy this or sell this.
Right.
You know, you have to put the money on the exchange and then go trade it. And so, you know, you've seen 3 days of you know, pushing down to 15,000 a couple times on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday.
Test.
And it's a test, but also it's drain all the buyers' accounts.
Yeah.
And they can't re-up their account, and then on the 4th time, that's why you see it go to
support,
12,000.
comes down, more is there, more people will put fiat in.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, we're going into Christmas. I think they expected that people weren't going to be putting fiat in because maybe they're spending on other things.
Right, the banks
It's
are
just a
closed.
perfect opportunity.
And it's
for
also
short
very
sellers.
difficult to go and wire money to Coinbase right now because they're so backed up. Like, go try and send a wire to
Yeah.
GDEX right now.
Yeah.
So that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
The market's going up after Christmas.
Yeah, and one of the things, William and I, we're working on an advanced trading program. Some of you are in the Bitcoin crypto paid mentorship I have. We're working on a level 2. These guys got a lot of ninja tricks up their sleeve. But so
I
you're
want to
saying
get Ben in there too to teach lessons.
Yes,
too.
for sure.
Yeah, he's really good at this.
all is decentralized. Anyone who knows what they're talking about is all are welcome who are
Decentralize
smart.
everything. Yeah.
Decentralize everything.
Yeah.
Except who you're dating.
Yeah,
you don't want to
I'm
decentralize
ICO my
that.
first-
You don't want to be like, come on to my wife, or yeah. So
Not a good idea.
not a
no.
good idea.
That's
Someone is
decentralizing
saying,
relationships.
let's see here. Question, Patrick G. Look at the charts for technical analysis. So technical analysis is a traditional kind of stock market term. Do you think it completely is applicable to crypto?
Absolutely. The crypto markets play finely into technical analysis because these markets aren't mature, just like when technical analysis was created back in the early 1900s with point and figure charts. So yeah, this is so technical, this market, because the market is going to trade in a range back and forth between the same numbers. Just do it over and over again. Ben will tell you, it's very predictable right now.
So what's a predictable? I got a guy. I won't say his name because he does not. He's making so much money he doesn't want anyone to know who he is. But he made $4.5 million a couple days ago doing. Yeah, he's a pretty big trader. But he's like, this is the most predictable thing I've ever seen. This crypto thing. It's
Yeah.
like dang, 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 dang.
And it's a good
So
time to
what's some technical stuff that you've seen? Maybe we won't
Look,
share
the
every-
technical things that I see is that it's got increased volatility. The books are small because the blockchain can only support a certain amount of traffic. So there's not that many trades happening. I mean, the volume's still huge, but there's not that many trades happening in between networks in order to make there be a volume so that it can take any amount of shorts or any amount of longs in the market, right? So the book is small for every single one of these cryptos. There's certain cryptos that have pretty good volume, but overall I'd say the volume is subpar.
There's
across
20
the
or
board.
30 cryptos that have good volume, and the rest it's patchy depending on what exchange.
It's crazy too. I was just looking at. So I had Jeremy Gardner here, and we were talking about Qtum, and like Qtum's market cap, it shot into a top 20 coin in the last week.
Yeah.
And it was whatever. It's like number 50. I mean, these things are
I like
moving
Qtum. Qtum's
around.
cool.
Yeah, Qtum for
Today
you.
was a bloody morning, man. Like, I'm in a bunch of trading groups. Everyone yesterday just go, yeah, I'm on euphoria. It's like
Yeah.
market capitulation chart. You can follow it. It's the emotion. Oh, they're all euphoric, and then man, it just falls off a cliff. But it's okay. There's buyer support right here, and it's just gonna.
Yeah, I mean,
This is crypto,
is there a
man.
possibility? Obviously, anything's possible in this world. We got
Yeah.
Donald Trump
Dude,
as
all these
president.
cryptos-
Arnold Schwarzenegger was
Everything
governor.
could go to zero
Yeah,
tomorrow. Who
anything's
knows?
possible.
But
Yeah.
would your educated opinion, is that likely?
Going to zero?
Yeah.
No.
No. I don't think right now anything's going to zero. In the
That'd be
crypto
nice,
space.
man.
I'll take all Bitcoin at $1.
No, we already have
Just
a deal.
send it to
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of people who take it at 10,000 that will keep it afloat
If you
too.
think it's going to
And
zero,
so that's called for because
So
we got
the-
beginners. That's kind of there's this support.
We need better exchanges. That's where it's coming down to. There's some solutions out there for decentralized exchanges. AirSwap is one that we really
What's
like.
the new, there's the token that's to build decentralized.
There's been a few.
You can do it
I've
on
seen.
Stellar.
Stellar?
Yeah.
I thought there's another one too.
No, you can build it on
I'm
Stellar.
sure somebody will pop in here. There's so many coins. You know, I thought I had a good memory reading a lot of books. I'm
AirSwap
like,
is a decentralized
this
exchange.
damn thing, I'm just like
Roxanne.
books. I gotta read 150.
They got some big investors. They got some.
Yeah,
real
then
people in
Ether
it.
Delta was one, but that thing
So
was
here's
not-
one. Somebody talked about, Qtum. Qtum is kind of like a competitor to in China to, isn't it Neo?
No, well, they're both, I guess, competitors to Ethereum.
Yeah.
Let's say it that way.
Yeah.
And they're giving them a couple different options, but it's like, you know, do you want to read this newspaper or this newspaper?
Right. But my friend Jeremy Gardner says Qtum, he's seen the team, the code. You can look in GitHub, it's better. Neo hasn't done as much. You know, it's just kind of.
Well, Neo just has a unique structure.
And good press.
And good press. Good press matters.
Yeah, good press matters.
Somebody kept asking, someone said about Kobe Welker, talking about Saltcoin. One of the co-founders is my friend. He's going to be on the show. Salt is not applicable to everybody here unless you've got a lot of crypto. It's basically a way you can borrow against your crypto. Talk BitConnect. BitConnect comes up. Is this thing a Ponzi scheme?
I don't know. I have a lot of friends who made a lot of money in BitConnect. I'm not
I
in
have
BitConnect.
no idea what it is, and I'm not going to comment on it.
What do you think?
I have way too much money on there.
So you have money in BitConnect.
I have a number you don't want to hear.
Oh, no.
Okay.
How,
I like that.
it's,
I've got a number
you
you
get
don't
it
want
out?
to.
no, I get paid every day.
Wow.
You get paid every day.
Yeah, it's an ungodly amount. But essentially, the way I look at it is they supposedly are doing volatility trading.
Yeah.
The other ones are scams. This could be a Ponzi scheme as well. It very well could be a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
So you're one of the people that might make money in the Ponzi scheme before it self-destructs,
So
which
the-
is a possibility.
The thing is though, like if I send them 200 grand worth of Bitcoin, I sent it to them when it was worth 4 grand. Now it's 15 grand. So they paid me double on my money, but they've made quadruple.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an interesting thing. I'm like, if they were planning on being a Ponzi, they might just be billionaires now that didn't realize. People put it in at $1,000 and now it's 15 grand. They
Yeah.
made 15 to 1 on their money.
In at the right time.
So their valuation is now like $1.5 billion.
Yeah.
So they're a top 20 coin
Yeah.
all of a sudden. It's just a weird thing. Like,
Look, when EOS was 55 cents, I think they had more Ethereum in US dollars because the Ethereum had gone up than their entire market
EOS
cap.
is at $7
And that's when I told
right now,
people to
too.
start buying EOS. I said, look, they have more Ether in US dollars
Yeah.
than their entire market cap.
Yes.
So go buy.
yeah.
Let me,
So
we have
BitConnect,
a,
be careful basically, but
we have a beginner on here and I wanted to read, damn it.
We're
Comments
not
coming in.
financial advisors.
yeah.
I'm not a financial advisor.
No, but
nothing
none
I
of
say
us-
should be taken as
This
advice.
is not financial advice. This is just
Ever. Not even about finance.
somebody said
Some
I'm
really
down.
statements.
I'm down 700. I lost it, but I remembered what they said. They said I'm down $700. Should I sell and get out? What do you say to that?
No, we've dealt with this 10 times now.
I'm
or
not a
more.
financial
How
advisor.
many times have you, I mean,
What would
we're
you
not
do if
financial
you were an
advisors,
ex-person?
but we plan 4 dips by selling pieces of our holding and buying back in.
Yeah,
That's how much we want it to dip. We're having a party tonight because it's dipping.
They're
I don't
gonna
know,
have
guys.
chips and dip at this party. Okay, question. We got to talk about some specific coins because we have cult followings for each and every coin that you can name. And you have your cult haters. People love BitConnect, hate. Let's talk about Ripple first. Let's go. I'm going to do a speed round. All
Yeah.
3 of you get speed opinions on Ripple. XRP. Where are we going?
I love XRP. I own XRP. The reason I love XRP is because it's distributed to banks.
Yes.
They thought about banks first, and the fact that all the banks have it means that one day banks are going to look at this asset and it's going to be worth $1 billion. And
Yes.
when that happens, look to banks to make some cool moves.
Devil's advocate that I've heard, but you can use Ripple without XRP. People are saying the token. So they're
Oh, yeah.
saying that the token isn't as tied. That's the devil's advocate.
No, I'm just talking about the distribution.
Yeah.
Who owns this coin? 70% of it is owned by banks.
Okay. Gotcha.
It was the banks had it before it was even released.
In
to the public.
Japan, about 70% of banks are already using.
Yeah,
I think
crypto,
Ripple.
yeah.
I don't think this is used in the United States yet. But
Oh no, not a lot of banks have started developing for it yet. But at some point, that's going to be $1 billion on their balance sheet, and maybe they don't have to develop something. Maybe they just need to build a product around it for crypto businesses, and that's as far as I'll go.
William, Ripple, XRP.
I'm binary on it. I own it. I share his opinion, and on the other hand, I look at the devil's advocate side. So I'm just a hold on that one. I do.
You're a hold. So
Yeah.
you're not super bullish, super bearish. It's just like
I'm just there. So I
flip a
have it.
coin. Okay. What's that? What is it at right now?
I think
It's over $1.
It was just at 80 cents. I mean,
It's at
It
70
was at
cents.
40 it was at 47 cents too.
no, but I'm saying like a
Yeah,
couple days ago it was
Yeah.
at 80.
Yeah.
You gotta, okay.
So
Opinion.
I look at them like a startup company where I would invest in them because they have all the check marks. They're going the right path, they're working with hundreds of banks, and they're going the legit path. So I think long-term, they're interesting to me, so.
And Dan
long-term-
is the angel investor. He's invested in 28 companies. Youngest person in history to what? Go public? So he knows a bit about the business world. Me and this side is a little more the business world, me and Dan. And this is a little more the
Wizards.
crypto, but they know business too. We all.
Oh, wait until you see what we got in the pipeline.
Oh, they're gonna put us all to shame.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
let's move to the next coin that I'm seeing here. We gotta talk IOTA. What do you think of IOTA?
I didn't like that MIT Media Labs article.
Which was kind of attacking the cryptography of the thing and.
It was basically attacking the security, yeah.
Yeah.
And security is really important and actually pretty fundamental to this industry. It's always seen as a more secure version. Everybody's responsible for their own crypto, right? And that's the world that we live in and play in. And the fact that that wasn't put first and speed was put first, you know, maybe there's some really valuable transactions of data that have no real world value. Hey, are my lights on? Is this happening? How many times did my TV get turned on last night? Some of those things might exist in the IoT
Yes.
world, and they create value for this, but it's not going to be your, you know, banking information and your.
IOTA is built around the Internet of Things.
Yes.
So, William, opinion on IOTA?
I share his opinion. I mean, if they can prove out that this tangle is secure and it works, that's great. But otherwise, I think there's a lot of hype around it, and I think MIT probably knows their stuff around cryptography.
Yeah, MIT does know. One thing those guys know is that this stuff, all this cryptography is
Yeah.
coming out of there anyway.
Yeah. So I mean,
So you're bullish, Barry? You go. What does Jim Cramer do? We need that Jim Cramer shit.
Oh man.
What is
The
it?
sound effect word, sound effect word.
Is it a yeah or a
Oh, yeah,
yay?
he does that whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as IOTA goes, if you own it, I mean, whatever, I hold it because it's right there. But that's what I do. I'm just holding it. I would not buy more. I would not sell it just because I already got it for cheap. So, I mean, I'm just kind of holding it, and if it proves out that
Trade
it's
your
a bad
IOTA for
project and I
EOS.
lose my money, then
How about
sure.
that?
Trade your IOTA for EOS.
Yeah, EOS is great. It's $7.
You got an IOTA opinion?
I don't invest in things that I don't fully believe in long-term, so it's not for me.
Okay, next coin. Here, snap one of these, Adrian.
Cool.
When you're done, let's snap a little conversation. Let me pick up a controversial one. Let's talk about Litecoin. I think Litecoin is
Good
wait till we-
controversy time.
So point, okay,
3, 2.
Snapchat, we're doing Bitcoin crypto episode. Let's start, we got experts here. He called the 12,000 price on Bitcoin, built the trading desk for science, just spent 32 million on mining operation.
Yeah.
Litecoin, Charlie Lee sold all his holdings. Is that good or bad for Litecoin?
I think Litecoin stays in step with Bitcoin.
Charlie Lee made a great statement about why he sold it. I think it could be, if people read that, they'll kind of understand his reasoning.
They wanted to be objective.
Yeah. It's
Didn't
totally
want to be
cool.
so. IOTA, we gave a maybe. Ripple, you gave a yes.
Yeah, I like Ripple.
EOS.
EOS, it's a yes right now. It's under $7. Buy. Or it might be a little
He
over
would buy it.
$7.
He would buy it if he
For
were
himself. This is not trading advice. This
Not
is what
advice,
he's
it's just
doing.
me.
He yells that to himself. He wakes up at
Yeah,
night and goes, buy, EOS.
Yes. I love EOS. That's a great project. A lot of our friends are obviously very closely
Brock,
involved with it.
co-founder,
Yeah.
was on the episode 1 of this show, and he called. So you're a
It's at $7 right now, man. I'm definitely buying EOS.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are you buying, hold, or trading this stuff?
Buy and hold, baby. I think that project's had some great long-term
Yeah.
success rate.
David Moss, the CTO, is like, I saw him speak recently. He's articulate, he's driven, he's a track record of anytime he's ever found a problem, he kind of barrels right through it.
Yep.
And everybody in the industry at the top level is listening to this guy and listening to if he thinks that things are technologically feasible. So if he says he can do it, he can do it.
Will Bitcoin Cash kill Bitcoin? Let's start here.
Well, quick on EOS, I look at that the way I look at startups, and the co-founder, Brock Pierce, has done 140 angel investments, chairman of the Bitcoin Foundation.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna bet on a jockey, I mean,
Right.
you gotta
Good
go
point.
with that.
Bet on winners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he has the pick of the litter, he could pick anything to go
Sure.
co-found. So to do that, it's a big deal. Bitcoin Cash, there's just so many emotions to it, so I'm more into Bitcoin, but I understand the needs and utilities of Bitcoin Cash. So I bought it for the flip, I bought it for the trading day when it went on Coinbase, and then 7 hours later I sold it. So
Yeah.
to me, Bitcoin Cash is to make money with.
You did that? You did a little quick flip?
Oh yeah, our group chat was very, very fun. I sold 5 million little Sia coins to go buy 75K worth of Bitcoin Cash. And 7 hours later, sell it back to buy back the Sia coin.
You
And
make
then
a
Sia coin went up
decent
a
little
lot.
profit?
It was funny because Sia coin kind of just sat stagnant for the last month or two, and all of a sudden that day was the all-time high. So I made 20K, but I missed out on 35, and it was like a weird emotional thing because.
So you were mad about making 20 grand in one day.
Right.
This is the world that Dan Fleischman lives. I'm having the shittiest day. What happened? I only made 20 grand today, and I'm pissed.
It's a sad day.
It's a sad day. This is what my friend always does. The world's smallest
And
violin.
your Lamborghini battery died, man. I felt horrible.
Really?
Sorry for both of you.
I got your care package. What do you say? Bitcoin, Ben, versus Bitcoin Cash?
I like the fact
From the
that they-
technology standpoint.
From a technology standpoint, Bitcoin Cash is better. But Bitcoin itself is more widely used and more developed for. So it's
Absolutely.
like on the technical side, there's an argument for both.
I love them
And
both.
the thing I like
Let's be
about
fair.
both of them is that they've, except for a couple days, they've traded inversely for the most part.
Yes.
So if Bitcoin goes up, Bitcoin Cash goes down.
You
If
want
Bitcoin Cash goes up,
non-correlated assets.
Well, yeah, it helps with the hedging.
Yeah.
I love them both. I mean, both have broken up relationships for me because I love them so much. So
He's gone through three marriages already in the last 2 weeks.
I'm committed.
All right, let's talk about let's talk about Verge. Verge is being popped here. Anybody? That's not one I know much about.
I actually don't know the name.
Okay, so it might be a pump and dump. How much of the change in prices is being manipulated by big people, big whales? Do you think this is a real problem?
Look, it was way more of a problem when both of us started. It was way more of a problem.
How long ago was that?
Years and
Years ago. A
Like,
few years ago.
there used to be a chat room run by this guy Fontes who was doing these crazy like pump and dumps, man, throughout the market back in like 2013, 2014. You might remember it. Yeah, the New York Times article about him. But yeah, like there's
Same way you can manipulate penny stocks.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's some big whales thrashing the market.
Yeah,
for a
there's
while.
whales now, but like if you stick to Bitcoin and Ethereum, there's a lot of people that own it. So there's a lot of
The biggest
people
whales
ready
are
to
the
go do
miners.
things.
Excellent.
Yeah, the biggest whales a lot of the biggest whales are the miners.
Yeah.
Yep.
Supposedly, the reason for the crash was also because some pool had like millions of Bitcoins that they finally started unloading.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah, there's
surprised.
about 4 days in a row, and
There's some big orders on top of the books the other day. I saw $20 million.
yeah. I saw an order like I saw orders like maybe 10 minutes before.
Yeah.
Sell orders right before they crashed it. So, you know.
Yeah. Put it this way. Anytime there's money, somebody's doing some bullshit. Just get ready to it. And get ready for it.
Public
If you don't, and
markets.
if you, and for anybody who goes, because this is what I don't like about Bloomberg or something like this, they go, oh, poo-poo this crypto stuff because this XYZ. That same XYZ that they're mad about is happening in New York City, at Wall Street. Do you think New York Stock Exchange is run by a whole bunch of angels? Just nice, lovely people that are looking out for the benefit of society. They're doing, pump and dumps are happening still in big, large companies. Obviously, insider trading has been made illegal, but doesn't mean people don't do
Wherever
it.
you have money and markets,
Yeah.
there's always going to be bad players, and they'll be there. And you know that's it. You just gotta have good players
whether
like us.
Look, the thing you need to keep in mind about all cryptos, and I'm not a financial advisor, but look at the fact that they're highly volatile. Understand that if you're putting them into your portfolio, you're not putting them in there because you already have volatile assets. You're putting them in there because you have a house and a car, and one of them may be depreciating.
Yeah, this is very speculative right now too, man. This is a very new industry, new technology. When you put any money into any of these, you need to understand that there's a possibility you go to zero. But that's that's not going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. But you need to.
Zoltan, I did not say that. Zoltan Bazay on Facebook just said, Todd, he admitted crypto is parasitic, just like Wall Street. That's not what I said. I said there are parasites
Yeah.
in crypto. There are parasites on Wall Street. I'm not blaming. Look, the concept of Wall Street, which is that everyday ordinary people can buy a small chunk, a small bit of Apple and Amazon. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a healthy capitalistic concept. What I was saying is whenever there's money, it attracts some bullshit people, but it also attracts good things. So you have to look, there's one of the great philosophers says there's no solutions, only trade-offs. And that's an important thing. I feel like half of planet Earth is just waiting to get offended at anything. It's like they were so, I don't know, where everyone bullied in high school, people are just waiting to go, haha, I found out a politician did something wrong. I'm like, what fucking planet have you been on? This has been happening for 2,000 years. So people are like in crypto, they're like, haha, there's a Ponzi scheme, maybe BitConnect. I wouldn't be surprised. Welcome to Planet Earth. It's called Planet Earth, where people do lots. The main question is, are the trade-offs of crypto enough to offset the negative things? And everybody, I think, here believes that the concept of decentralizing money, look, everything else has gone digital. Do we still, when you go into operation, do we still use 1,700 leeches on your body? No. Medicine's been upgraded.
Well, you may or may not. If you're into that stuff, then you might do it. But personally, I prefer a modern hospital with modern surgical utensils.
You're not a big leech man?
You know, sometimes maybe.
I'm gonna send you leeches for your
Steve-O put
birthday.
one on his eye. Remember that?
Steve-O, you talking about
Jackass.
Jackass? Do not get your medical advice from
Yeah.
Jackass.
No,
Well,
no.
that is point number one from today's expert talk. You are learning things you'll never learn anywhere else.
Yes.
All right, let's go back. We got a lot of people throwing Somebody said, Verge, the privacy coin can't lose. Never say the phrase blank can't lose. That's like, you say that, you automatically become dumb in smart people's head. Everything can lose.
Yep.
Let's get your opinion on Tron. What do you think on Tron?
I was looking at Tron's chart today. I haven't looked at the tech at all.
We don't know what Tron is.
Yeah, we haven't gone there yet with Tron, but and that's only to speak for how many great options there are right now.
Yeah.
Like, we really don't have the time to look at every single coin that cracks top 50 even right now.
Tron shot up, I think 50x this
And
month.
also, you gotta
Yeah.
realize, like, there's all these projects are out there. We're looking all the time at new deals and new projects that are amazing and are gonna be coming out over the next year, 2 years. And a lot of the new ventures and stuff we're looking at right now are involved with trying to build out these new projects and, make it happen, make this industry bigger and better. So we can't wait until we can talk about this stuff, but we can't
They
really
got some
disclose anything.
secret stuff.
Yeah.
And wait till this advanced training program comes out. Me and William, Ben, we got different people. Let's do something real practical for someone listening who maybe isn't super advanced or super beginner. If people want to start trading these smaller coins, you can't do it on Coinbase. You really only have, a handful on Coinbase. If somebody's wanting to buy, what's some smaller market cap coins that you guys are in? You said BitConnect.
And a Sidecoin.
Okay.
Sidecoin.
What are
is
some
only
just-
2 cents.
I mean, last time I was on here, Stellar was a small market cap
Yeah.
coin, but since the last time I was here, it shot up above Litecoin.
He called it. He was like, people should get in Stellar. Those of you go to TaiLopez.com/Bitcoin, TaiLopez.com/Bitcoin if you want to get in this 8 weeks mentorship we have. It's a paid program, but Stellar. So where are you buying Stellar? What are you using?
I think you look for any dip you can with a
No,
coin.
but I'm saying, are you using Binance?
Or
Are
you
you
can get
using
Stellar on Poloniex right
Yeah.
now. I know
Okay,
there's
the thing about Stellar though, keep in mind it trades under STR as well as XLM, but
Yes.
it's the same thing.
Yeah.
They just rebranded.
Why did they do that?
Because they
Kraken
were-
has XBT,
yeah.
I don't know, man.
There's-
This is crypto.
Because you can't get the exchanges to conform. Once they put something up, some of them won't change it.
What exchange do you like to trade on?
Personally, GDAX and Binance.
This guy is like constantly deep in technical.
I like
papers and
telling him
white
to
papers,
trade.
Yeah, so he just tells me what to do, and I make some good money. And I know he's a long-term hodler of all these things, so I think he doesn't need to trade anymore. Would be my guess. And he just focuses on like a lot of the new projects. Like this guy's always, you give him a white paper in about a half hour, I'll have everything you need to know about it. And
People were asking about Tezos. Did you read Tezos?
Oh, man.
White paper. It's one of the biggest
I'm not
ICOs.
gonna
What was it
comment.
at?
I'm not
2 to
gonna
400
comment on
million?
Tezos.
Yeah, I think dwelling on Tezos, like, look, that's to the same thing. It's as soon as you open a new market up and you give up control over your money to somebody, if that person doesn't have the best intentions, bad things happen. And this has happened in the equities market. This has happened in the debt market. This has happened all over the place. And, even sometimes to the very, very tippy top of organizations. So,
Let's talk about one coin that not many people are talking about that you have your eye on. Anybody?
EOS, man. I think
EOS,
EOS,
honestly.
amazing. I mean, watch what's going to happen in the next couple months, and they're going to keep working and working. I know they work really hard. I know they're ahead of schedule, and I know that in June they have this Dawn thing launching that's gonna be amazing. So
Dong?
Dawn. Dawn.
Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah,
what
no,
They have a
Eos
special,
Dong.
we're doing a special dong party.
their whole platform
That sounds
is
like a
so
party
much.
I'm not gonna go to. I'm gonna let you guys go to the dong party. I'll be
Out
there.
there. EOS's whole platform is supposed to launch in June.
In June, end of May. I
And they've
think,
been
yeah.
running tests, is what I'm hearing from the inside and what they're saying, and that's really good. That means they already have something built. And that means that they're just probably adding different feature sets that they want to release in their platform for the creation of dApps. This is like the OS. This is like Windows launching. This is like
Is EOS
everything for this industry.
Ethereum on steroids?
No comment.
No comment. Not the name, but I mean, do you think the
Oh, no.
functionality, is it Ethereum on steroids?
Yes and no. It's got some unique features that are really kind of like, it looks at the past and it brings them into the future, but it's got some aspects to it that they really are the ones making the choice, and they're the ones that are kind of creating the new platform. They're creating the new technologies that
Yeah.
are going to run a system that can go 30,000 transactions a second. That's
Kinda
their
like
goal.
a Visa possible.
Visa,
level
but I
volume.
mean, look, when you talk about something like EOS, it can be transfers of all types of value. It can be saying, are these coffee beans really fair trade? Is this steak really grass fed? Or is this fish really line caught? All of that should be reported in EOS. That's when we say operating system, we're really talking operating system. People around the globe
Yes.
are gonna use this every place that they need trust.
By the way, Ben just hit on something profound. If you understand what he just said, and I'll try to break it down maybe in layman's terms, because he's very advanced and super smart, and some of us are dumb. For the dumb ones like me, here's what it means. Cryptocurrency, people are thinking of it right now as a quick way to make money. That's a very small part of the potential. There's something called the blockchain, and all these coins are being built on different chains. There's more applications. Imagine this, what he just said. You go to Starbucks. They say that this coffee is organic, fair trade, being grown in an environmentally healthy way. You then buy it because you're like, oh, I want to support the environment. And you find out 1 year later that it's bullshit. It's been coffee beans from, Joe's backyard that's destroying
I grew
the
them. I grew
rainforest.
them in my backyard in Venice.
Coffee beans? No. Whatever. I mean, so you feel betrayed. Blockchain has the potential to stop that by basically allowing the whole world to look in and vote and say, bullshit. That coffee bean is not that way. And so these are called the consensus and these proofs.
Yeah.
Now so that's kind of a beginner thing. Maybe a slightly more advanced question. One of the devil advocate arguments I've heard against EOS is it's not so the consensus is not like Bitcoin where it's everywhere. It's kind of centralized among how many? Like 15?
21.
21. Is there a potential problem with manipulation when there's only 21
I
hubs?
think they're being really, from what I've seen, and I've seen them reaching out to different groups to build data centers to use for their, I guess they call them nodes.
Yeah.
And I think they've been really ethical. They're not reaching out to like this guy's cousin or that guy's brother. They're,
My
they're reaching out to
21
different
relative.
groups that already have some sort of basis in the crypto industry and have the support of financial backers who will help them build out the data center that they need. And, there's probably not a huge list of people that fit that criteria, but, 21 around the globe seems fair. It seems like that's the most they can get that can probably afford to build a system that works the way theirs does.
Yeah. What's a coin? You have a coin you like that not many people are talking about?
Yeah, my favorite little baby coin is Sia Coin. It's only 2 cents. They basically built a better version of. Imagine if Dropbox was perfect, couldn't be hacked, and was 1/8 of the price.
Yeah.
Because
So it's
we're
storage.
sharing our files on
Fundamentals.
700
Yeah.
people's computers, so we're not sharing in one place.
What's the other one?
Filecoin.
Is it similar to Filecoin?
So Filecoin raised $252 million.
At that valuation of Ethereum and Bitcoin.
Which,
Yeah, it's a lot
which,
more now.
which no startup should ever need. 'Cause
Yeah.
They essentially raised a Series D by skipping.
You mean you don't need $250 million to launch a business?
And what they're trying to do, I hope they build it for the sake of the community, but what they're trying to build is an insanely better version of Dropbox that is almost impossible to do what they're trying to say. So I'm praying that they figure it out and they have $250 million to do it with. But for the sake of the community, I hope they do it.
Is it proof of storage? Is that the proof for
For Filecoin, I don't really
no,
remember.
No,
but-
Filecoin is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
IFPS, so it's
Oh,
interplanetary file storage.
Oh, good. So all you gotta, you send it to Mars. Simple. By the way, there was
Interesting name for a protocol.
our technology, we just go to Neptune And all right, Electronium's going to the moon. Proof of work. Tron will be the next big thing. Wabi, BitShares, Thoughtcoin. Please tell me somebody's gonna come up with that hoe over there coin. That's what we need. Cardano, let's talk about that.
All right, Cardano came out of nowhere. It wasn't on my radar. But then again, not everything, you can't know
watch
about
it all,
everything
yeah.
that's happening, especially in this space where everything's happening so fast and money's moving so fast.
I need to sleep at some point, you know.
Yeah, but then I looked at my Facebook and I tried to read what some of my friends are saying about things before I ever make a move or anything like that. And a lot of my friends were saying that it's been developed for a really long time, that they've got a strong community, that it was just a coin that should have
What's the
been bigger.
utility?
It's kind of, I think it's similar to Ethereum. I haven't dug into it, but
Everything seems to be.
yeah, everything's similar to Ethereum with a twist. But
Bitcoin Cash is a Bitcoin
That's
with
a
a
whole
twist.
different thing. Yeah, that's a payment
Yeah.
method. Bitcoin Cash. I don't know what Bitcoin Cash
What about
really is going to become. but
Monero?
I like it.
I think that Monero has some of the strongest technologists in the world.
Yeah.
And I think that everybody respects them right now. I mean, you look at everybody else took a 20% loss today. What do they have, like 10%? People don't want to sell the Monero.
And what's the Monero? What's the utility? What's the
It's privacy.
Yeah, it's a privacy coin, but it's like the guys that really, really care about cryptography as a whole field, and
Yeah.
they're really. I mean, you got some smart guys, some smart math guys.
Yeah, a mutual friend of ours put in millions and millions
Yeah.
and millions into that just because they really believe in Monero.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few different privacy coins out there. What is it? Dash's privacy coin,
The Zcash.
Zcash, and but right now, I think that.
Verge, I think, from one.
Yeah, Verge.
Oh, is Verge also
Yeah.
a privacy coin?
Yep.
Well, I mean, just saying. I mean, is that the one they said that was like no losses? It's a privacy coin.
Yeah. Do not say no losses, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not going to allow you to comment. Let's say Roger Ver, McAfee, Jiwon Wu, and many others are switching to Bitcoin Cash as the true Bitcoin says Bitcoin Core has gone against the protocol to increase block size. Jiwon Wu, the largest miner in the world, is switching mostly to Bitcoin Cash. Damn it. Can you guys slow down commenting, please?
It's a good problem.
All right, I gave up. Oh, there he is, Logan Giannotti, which is probably another reason the transaction time is so much slower. So let me switch real quick. You guys good? Anybody
Yeah.
burning out?
No, man.
Waters?
People are loving this. Look how many people are holding on these. I bet you 50,000 people are gonna watch this.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Water?
over the time. Can we all have waters?
Yeah.
All right. Former CEO of Ethereum is the creative Cardano. Here you go. Cloak is better than Monero with Enigma. Thank you. There's gonna be just languages. No one's gonna know what the fuck. I'm just gonna start. I bet you I can start saying stuff and people won't know. Oh, the Juicy Coin. It's a Litecoin version of hard
Banana
fork
coin.
split.
You hear about banana coin? Someone actually had a
coin.
banana farm in
Is that true?
Thailand. Yeah, or in Vietnam.
Hear about the iced tea?
It's called the banana coin. Yeah, iced tea. There's a
Iced
company.
tea, yeah.
What's the name of that company? Long. It's
They got
called
in
Long
trouble,
something.
man.
They changed the name to
Long
Block.
blockchain and a long blockchain.
Who wants a blockchain?
soda company. I don't know about their stock. Their stock's not interesting, but hey, I'd love some of their soda. It sounds like a
I think
soda
they
I can
halted
get
the
into.
trading on that one.
Thank you.
Monaco coin.
If
Yeah.
you're watching Long Blockchain Soda, please send me a case of your soda, your refined product.
All the folks will hop on when it's down to 2,000. Is there support? Is it even likely
Can I
to?
bet
Yeah.
against it? Oh,
Yeah, you're gonna bet against it.
I mean, I bet. It's not just because
As a miner, what do you like? Is it worth it for you to mine at 2,000?
it would just take a couple of years instead of
Yeah.
3 months or
So
4
no,
months.
not 2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's profitable to mine Bitcoin when it's 4,000 or 5,000. You get your money in a year. But if it's at
Oh, I don't want to interrupt you, but this is Twitter. Somebody said they went to go buy a Lamborghini with their Bitcoin. You could buy a Lamborghini in Orange County, and it price dropped too much. They left without a Lamborghini. Oh no!
Damn.
Oh no!
I'm sorry, man.
Sorry, man.
Just hold, dude.
First
Don't
world
buy that
problems.
yet.
First world problems.
Don't
No
buy
one's
that
crying for you.
Lamborghini yet.
Yeah.
Hold for another little while, please.
Try holding even longer so that you don't lose your whole stack.
it's just
Yeah,
crazy.
and then you just have a Lamborghini and no Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Don't
sleep
trade
in that
all of your
Lamborghini,
Bitcoin for
but
a
you're just
Lamborghini.
someone with no
Whatever
Bitcoin
you
sleeping
do.
in a tiny car.
You're gonna feel like an idiot like a year from now.
You only need like 60 or 70 Bitcoin to have $1 million now.
Yeah.
That's just insanity.
Yeah, I was thinking we should do a website like buy for one, what I'll sell for 1 Bitcoin. Yeah, and then just you have to constantly remember to keep going, taking things down if the price goes down.
People are gonna be selling their body.
Yeah.
They probably already
He
would.
said so.
Ben, have you been selling your body for 1 Bitcoin?
One of my friends did say people will chew your arm off for a Bitcoin. Right?
I'd give pretty much anyone a kiss for 1 Bitcoin.
We're actually going
That's
over
cool.
to his place after.
Not me.
Yeah.
I don't want Bitcoin.
We'll plug his coin. Game
No
credits.
offense.
We're going over to
You're
Game
cool.
Credits
I love the
offices.
Bitcoins, man. I love the Bitcoins.
Yeah, we're going over to Game Credits offices after this. We'll plug them.
Yeah.
You know?
Credits?
Yeah.
That's where your bacon wrap dates are waiting for.
Yeah, I've got some bacon wrap.
I'm sure they've
dates,
been eaten.
Oh, please.
It's okay.
tell
I'll
me
get
not.
some road French fries. Just eat them. You know?
Somebody said, Ty, you can't make money off BitConnect. You're making money off BitConnect. I'm not endorsing BitConnect.
I'm not
You're definitely not endorsing
he has-
Bitcoin in any way, shape,
Most
or form.
people consider Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme, but I'm just saying. I like to be
Not
objective.
Bitcoin, BitConnect.
I mean, no, but that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's too many bits in this conversation. Blah, blah, blah.
Bit of this,
So,
bit of that.
That, then here's the
BTC.
bag.
It averages paying out 1% a day, which is insanity, because
Yeah.
mathematically it shouldn't be able to do that. If you compound it, it's even crazier, because if you compound 1% a day, after a year, you're a billionaire, so that's insanity.
Yeah.
So that's not gonna happen, probably.
So most likely it is a Ponzi scheme, except, like I said, they may have luck boxed. They may have gotten so lucky that the Bitcoin that people sent them at 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K worth, like I was sending it to them at 3 or 4K, is worth 14K and 15K.
Yeah.
So they might be paying me 1% a day for 100 days where I double my money, but they made 4 times their money on my money.
Yeah.
And supposedly their volatility trading. So it feels like a house of cards, but I'm having fun with it. I'm a gambler, so.
Moon Donkey said these guys are so scared they went on Periscope. That, first of all, that is the weirdest logic ever. If you were scared, why would we go on Periscope? What are we scared of? I love it. I sometimes, comments to me are like the global consciousness. There's some smart people, there's some normal people, and there's some morons. And when you blend it all together, that's the world we
Yeah.
live in.
And
Like the
so-
blockchain, like decentralized thinking is kind of comments when you get enough people. So there's the people on one side blurring together like, oh, Ty and them are super freaked out. The second I saw, this is just me, and this is not investment advice, don't invest any money you can't afford to lose. But when I saw Bitcoin drop, I was like, I was buying. Where's my phone? Let me see that. I did a tweet, and a lot of people, let me read this to you guys. This is what I said this morning. The problem with the modern school system, which I see in people's comments, is not understanding the fundamentals of money. And crypto's new, but if you've been around money and investing, I started with GE Capital more than a decade ago, watching how money works. And here's what I wrote. I said, why do people think falling prices are such bad news? How else can you buy low if the price never drops? Is this what modern education forgets to teach everyone? No wonder the whole world's broke. People literally think, and this is why I think be very careful of the mainstream media. And I'm not talking about Republican, Democrats. The mainstream media, if the journalists really knew what they were talking about, they probably wouldn't be a journalist. They would be off trading like William and Ben are doing.
Yeah, put your money where your mouth is.
But William and Ben are making
Take it.
Yeah.
Take it. We'll take your money.
You need to get your advice from people who don't write articles for mainstream. And so they're writing, look, it's crashing, blah, blah, blah. What they should be writing is, the price is going down, so you may want to buy right now. If you believe in the underlying technology, the underlying utility, then it's a great time to buy. And then if you don't believe in it, you should be getting out no matter what the price is.
Yeah, and talking as much horrible stuff about it as you can, because it just pushes the price down for people like us who really love it. So
Sean Wood wants to ask you guys a question. Is Bitcoin still low enough to get in on with the crash or for the next few days, or are we too late for the low crash wave?
well, I can never advise anyone anything to do because I'm not a financial advisor, but I would say that I'm buying Bitcoin right now, and other people I know are doing so. So if it was me, I'd be buying, but I cannot give any direct advice to anyone.
Someone said, you guys are so freaking up to date. Someone said, great show, but it looks like everyone got the wear black notice except Ty.
Well, Ty thinks he's going to be kidnapped by the North Koreans. So
Yes.
he's
So
wearing
I want people to
visibility.
see me.
Yeah.
I want people to see me.
But by the way, when things crash 30%, and they're like, oh my god, it fell down to $13,000. You guys realize it was less than $1,000 this year?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, guys.
like if a hedge fund manager by the way, in 2016, if a hedge fund manager made you 10% on your money, people would let them babysit their children. They're like, oh my God, 10% a year? That's the best hedge
You
fund
made
manager.
7, man.
Yeah, you were in the press. You were the hedge fund manager of the year. If you make
All the
10%
hedge
a
funds that
week,
made money this
now
year
it's
were
like-
hoping
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, I know.
The vast majority of them. That helped everyone's books.
Question for you guys, is the stock market the real bubble that nobody's talking about?
Of course, the stock market is not a bubble, I don't think. Well, I know that it's had an enormous run, and that it's just been on a massive bull tear.
But do you think it's too high?
I haven't been really watching this.
I don't know. We just got
Giving up, everybody, who cares about making 10% on their money?
I mean, it's fun, and I learned a lot from it when I was doing it, but the crypto markets provide a whole new level of volatility and excitement that cannot be paralleled by stock markets ever. So,
And to you, volatility is
fun.
cha-ching.
Oh, it's cha-ching, and it's fun, and it's probably why my hair's going to be gray in the next year, but I enjoy it.
get some sleep.
Yeah, we'll try.
So Ben, what do people need to know about the technology side, not just the coin
Just
side?
the very fundamentals aren't out there yet. So the fundamentals that I see are, hey, what if you own a property with a friend and you guys sell that property and you just like don't trust your friend by the time you come to sell that property? Are you gonna trust them to do the escrow? One of you guys has to do the escrow. Smart contracts, like in the one in Ethereum and a lot of other blockchain cryptocurrencies, allow for you to do that automatically and have trust in the system. It's all about trust, really. It's like there's peanut butter and jelly. The internet was peanut butter. We got it a long time ago. We never had the jelly. You could get all the information, but you couldn't know if it was true. You couldn't know if this really was your rich Nigerian uncle with this $10 billion. But now with blockchain, you could be like, you know, okay, you got $10 billion, show me your wallet.
Yeah, let's see it.
Yeah. So you think the transparency will be good?
I think it's miles better than what we have today in the traditional finance.
Are the big quote-unquote Federal Reserve banks, the Illuminati, the Rothschild, are they shaking in their boots?
I mean, if you ask Washington Post, they're creating their own, and there's some technical solutions out there that I think would work for a Fed coin. As for any launch date for a Fed coin, I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
Personally, nobody's been coming to me with any solid anything.
Well, they've done it in Russia. They're coming out with their own
I'm
coin.
talking about like U.S. dollar.
Yeah. What do you think let's talk about Tether, tied to the US dollar. They had it, some of the Tether guys were here at my house, or you weren't here. Brock, of course,
Yeah.
who you guys are working with, the co-founder of Tether.
I know
There was a hack.
He wasn't a co-founder.
He wasn't?
No.
I thought he was involved in Tether.
So okay, I heard this directly from
Maybe not a
Craig
co-founder.
Sellers. We were all over there, and Craig was basically said, "Hey, there was a hacker. He added more tethers to our back end. We caught it the day of, and we removed all the tethers, and we reset our market cap. He went through a list of every single piece of best practice that they did, and I don't think anybody who was in that room ever brought up anything negative about the tether hack ever again.
Okay.
Because he is the technical guy. Like, I
Yes.
mean, I look at Craig Sellers like he's a lot smarter than me.
Yes.
And he tells me that, hey, we did this absolutely everything we could. Yes, there was a hacker, there was a back door,
Yeah.
but we caught it day up.
Yeah, those guys and Reeve too. Both Craig and Reeve are outstanding.
Yeah,
guys.
Reeve was here. Reeve said he's gonna come on the show. He's been traveling. But Tether, of course, is slightly different in that it's tied tied to a dollar. Is it one for one? They got it backed up? I mean, what's the kind of
I think the way it was described to me was that there's like a bank account, and
Yeah.
for every single time somebody puts $1's worth of crypto into the bank account grows by $1.
Yeah.
And if also there's some people who tell me if you ever see 98-cent tethers, buy them.
Right. The
Because it's
arbitrage.
immediately going to go back to $1.
Yeah, it's worth $1.
Are you using Tether in your trading to be able to move in and out without going to fiat
Of
currency?
course. No, I just use it just like if the
For
market-
stability.
For stability, man. If I just want to get in and out of the trade, there's just good USDT pairs. USDT is tether.
Yeah.
So if
You need to go to sleep sometimes,
Yeah,
right?
because
Yeah.
if Bitcoin, if I don't know what's going to happen to it overnight, right, and I still want to be, able to be agile, then I'd go to USDT for sure.
Who's talking about USI Tech?
It's a scam.
If I hear USI Tech one time, I'm gonna come through my comments.
It's the bad version of BitConnect.
Oh man,
Big connected
different version.
Really?
That version of Connect.
US high tech.
Imagine
Oh,
somebody
God.
offering you 4% a day, or 6%.
Oh, so they were like, this thing sounds good. Let's turn it up to 4% and get some of those.
Yeah, that's like 6 minutes. That's like
minute abs.
Along Came Polly. Someone's like 6 minute ab. What was it? 8 minute ab, 6 minute, and then Ben Stiller was gonna do 4
Yeah,
minutes.
no, nobody can work out 6 minutes.
US high tech.
So no US high tech.
Yeah,
please.
it's just funny, man. You're gonna see these types of things pop up, and
Just like the stock market. Look
yeah.
at it. There's penny stocks that are scams. You know, there's the OTC board that has plenty of scams.
There's boiler rooms all over the country
Yeah.
calling people up and
Yeah.
scamming them.
Yeah,
So
the stock market is the same thing. There's 2,000 different coins now. There used to be only 100 or 200 this year. And there's ICOs coming out of every single angle, and hundreds of them are scams, and then there's plenty of good ones. You just have to do your research and really understand, do you believe they can do what they're gonna do? Do you trust who the founders are?
Yeah.
And, you know, that's how you
it comes
determine.
down to a lot of skills that you can find, I guess, in like the venture capital industry or angel investing industry.
Yeah.
You really, I mean, it's speculative, but in technology that's growing so fast and that has so many potential outcomes in every single sector, you know, it's as big as the internet, if not bigger, and it pairs perfectly with the internet. They're like complementary.
And I love it because it's liquid. Like, when
Yeah.
I invest into a startup, out of the 28 startups I invested into, most of them, almost all of them, I can't cash out. any
Imagine
time.
And that's
investing in
that's my
a,
beautiful point with the ICOs, man. And this is what a lot of people are overlooking about them is that they completely redefine the model of venture investing
Yeah.
because a guy like you can say, hey, I want liquidity, and it's there.
Right.
So it's a beautiful thing.
Imagine the forestry industry that only pensions can invest in right now because you have to wait 30 years to cash out.
Somebody's
You
waiting,
know,
Christian,
that's a
for
place
a
for
new
liquidity.
program.
Somebody's Christian Marin saying, Ty, when you and Williams advanced trading program? That's coming soon. We're actually going to record it right after this.
Yeah.
We're going to record basically what I'm going to do. Because what I'm doing, anytime I want to learn something so I'm a relative newbie in the crypto world. So what I do, anytime I want to learn stuff, I go out and I find the best people and I'm like, train me,
Exactly.
mentor me. And then that's what I'm doing with all these people on these chairs next to me. I just don't always surround myself with 3 guys. But when I want to learn, in this case, I learn from them. No offense to you guys.
It's cool, man.
Uh,
Gosh, we all know that you're a ladies' man, so you know, just
I don't know, with the pink sweater, maybe
it's a
been
good
questioned
look.
right
It's
now.
a good look.
But what I'm doing with this trading program, I'm like, William, let's trade. I'm gonna screen capture the whole thing of him teaching me, him and Ben, and some other people, and we're gonna go do that. For those, see, trading's not for everybody. The average person should buy and hold. And that's what Dan teaches in my level 1 Bitcoin crypto mastermind. That's the solid. Most people should be doing that. But there's a few people, about 10, 20% of people, who just like to trade. That's just their thing. And if you know how to trade and you like it, there's opportunities in crypto just like there is in traditional stock market. So,
Yeah.
Most day traders lose money,
yes.
just like most poker players lose money, but they think
Yeah.
that they're making money throughout the year.
But a few of them do.
But the
They
ones
just-
that do can crush it.
It's because they only talk about their wins.
Exactly. They only remember the time.
Your beard is getting a lot of comments. They like it.
Oh, you like the
It's a
beard?
good beard. You waxed that thing, or what's going on? You got a shout out to your company that you.
Yeah, the beard-
I actually go to, I go to the Floyd's barbershop. It's all over LA.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, you know, I just get
Looks
lucky.
good, man. It's a nice beard. I
Who's
keep
coming
going.
out with the beard coin? I feel like that would be.
Beard
someone
coin.
else.
What's your coin?
We got 55,000 members with beardclub.com.
Yeah, he owns, he's a original investor in Dollar Beard Club, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We
Yeah.
changed the name to thebeardclub.com because the guys from Sciences.
Oh yeah. Did
Yeah,
science
science.
come after you?
No, the parent company. The guys that bought out Dollar Shave Club said,
Yeah.
hey guys,
Was it-
can you,
Can you change the name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Unilever.
exactly.
Unilever, yeah.
So yeah, it's thebeardclub.com. Yeah, we have 55,000 members.
Nice. Just check that out.
I like subscription businesses. They kind of.
Dan's a
He
Virgo.
likes fees.
Virgos know how to make
Fees.
money. We got 2 Virgos here.
Two
These guys
Virgos.
know. What are you?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Okay. Sag is like adventure and craziness.
He comes up with some wild ideas, and then I put them to work.
Yeah.
It's a relationship.
Here's my impression of Virgos when no one's around. They're looking at their bank account going, yes. And when it goes down, they're weeping. And when it goes up, they're like, yes.
Yeah, I can get quite emotional.
You're talking about that emotion, that meme. It has a meme of like a Bitcoin spike and drop, and
Yeah.
it's like it has like all the emotions like written out on it,
Yeah.
and it's basically William's life.
Citibank, if you're listening, I would love for you to just be able to change my bank account balance to a candlestick to make it a lot easier for me to understand.
I'm a cusp Gemini Cancer, Raymond Rosales says. Okay, we're going to get everybody telling us their astrology. Someone said, Hyundai, just did, Hyundai did an ICO that raised 238 million. Is that true? This is the next thing. Venture capital, you come from the VC angel side, is being completely disrupted. More money was raised through ICOs, initial coin offerings, than traditional VC. So even Silicon Valley and Northern California is going to be completely disrupted. You're going to be able to raise money for your business, and people are already doing it. A buddy of mine, Polymath, he raised, I think, 40 million or something, 20 to 40, I forget the number, and just boom, didn't have to go begging to some Silicon Valley VC, didn't have to give away control of his company.
No predatory deal making.
Yeah, so it's going to be, look,
It's a great equalizer.
yeah, it's gonna be awesome. There's gonna be some bullshit along the road. You need to be educated. That's one thing I would tell you. Some of you are gonna go out, sell all you have, and put it into Bitcoin. This is not smart. Even if we believe in Bitcoin,
Yeah.
we would not recommend that to our friend, uncle, grandma, brother, because you shouldn't invest in what you don't
And we
know.
don't do it ourselves. I
You
mean,
never go all in on one thing.
Yes.
ever.
Yes.
Yeah, I won't invest in anything I really don't know, man. Like, there's things I've seen this year that I said, that looks cool, and that looks today, and it's up a ton. I didn't buy it, but I didn't understand it at the time, so that is what it is, and I feel comfortable with that decision.
It's like folding a good hand in poker to
Right.
somebody's, that's the right choice at that moment in the gameplay,
Let me ask you guys, let's do this I want to kind of wrap up, but this is a fun way to wrap up. Something you don't like, a coin you don't like. We already talked about a few. BitConnect.
say
Just, okay. That you can say.
Oh yeah, wait, you said this, shout out to this.
Alright, Zayed coin, you guys can look it up. It's only traded on Yobit. It has a $68 daily volume. It is the worst coin in the history of coins.
Wait, a $68, what?
A friend of
What's
ours
the
sent
price
us
on
the
it?
deck on this with all the dates being changed to a year later, pretending it was an ICO now.
We know, yeah.
We thought it was.
Just
we
so
thought
you
it
know,
was the Abu
$68
Dhabi's
trading
official
volume
coin.
is not good.
It means it's horrible.
One
Like,
person is buying and selling it.
to themselves.
Maybe.
But what's the price on it? And what's it
Oh.
supposed to do?
It's a fraction of a cent. And we,
Yeah, fractions and fractions of
It's,
cents.
it's controlled by a shell company in the Dominican Republic.
Or
that
its
is actually-
website has like a whole board of people in the Dominican Republic.
Which
None
aren't
of
real.
whom exists.
You have to snap this. What's the
Zion coin is the worst coin
the
in the world.
worst coin to put money in?
Zion coin is the
Zion
worst
coin.
coin in the world.
They're laughing. It's got $68 volume.
C-A-Y-E-E-T, Isaac.
This is insider crypto trading jokes. If you don't know what we're talking about.
Okay, we're gonna call him after this.
Oh, is this your friend?
Our friend accidentally sent it to us. It was in a stack of things.
He didn't know, he didn't read it through full enough.
Yeah,
It's okay. We just told him.
we just told him on the airwaves. We've been holding this and gaslighting him and pretending him we like this deal for a really long time.
Any other slightly larger coins that people, let's just say that you don't hate necessarily, but that you would not go into? And let's do a coin that most people know that you don't love.
Bitcoin Diamond, I don't even know what it is, but it showed up in my wallet, so I wouldn't buy it. I don't know, it's just some weird, obscure Bitcoin split coin, right?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different Bitcoin forked coins.
I'm going on CoinMarketCap. I'm gonna show everybody.
I'll give you one that I don't
We're
like.
gonna do the top 20 coins right here. Did Crypto Market Cap?
I like whatever coin's going up, so from that perspective, it's different coins on different days.
But we're doing one you don't.
Wow.
Like. Here we go.
We're halfway to
BTC,
$1 trillion in total value too. That's
Wonderful.
fantastic.
Ripple, Litecoin, IOTA. Stop me when there's one you don't like. Monero,
Yo, the
Neo,
good ones right
Stellar, Neo.
I don't like
Freedom.
Ethereum Classic.
Okay, let's stop there.
It
Number
happened so
16
early,
market.
so-
Why do you not like Ethereum Classic?
So I think when forks happen farther on in the lifespan of a coin, then both sides of it become somewhat important. But when you have a fork that happens at the beginning of a coin because they made a technical mistake, you either say, hey, that coin's dead and drive it to zero, or you create a fork and you fix the problem.
Okay.
And that's what had to happen with Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic was the original Ethereum that got distributed to everybody.
And it was a mistake on the technology
On the
side?
technology side, they did there's a whole story about it. If you want to look it up, you can look up the DAO and the DAO hack, the DAO hack.
Distributed autonomous organization.
So they tried to create basically a financial institution where all the Ethereum holders put some of their money in, and then they got hacked.
Huh.
And so everybody across the network lost money kind of proportionally, and they said we need to fix this problem so it doesn't happen again. So they fixed Ethereum, they created the new Ethereum.
And
they
it
made the
crashed
old one
Ethereum's
Classic.
price too. It was a very bad day.
It was a really bad day, but then it also led the way to ERC20 and all the tokens that are now coming out under that standard.
Yeah.
And creating that trading pair with Ethereum, which has driven Ethereum's value way up.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been necessarily possible if they still had security vulnerabilities. So that fork made a lot of sense.
All right, that's a good one. Note. By the way, if this is a little too advanced for some of you listening, go to tylopez.com/Bitcoin. Go in the 8-week mentorship. Do not miss a big trend. Look at Tron's now at 17, 2 billion market
I don't
cap.
even
Guess I know what we're gonna be reading
Tron,
tonight.
Yeah, I know a
Tron's,
little about
it's in,
Tron.
I had a guy, do you guys know Myth?
No?
Yeah.
Oh, do
Yeah,
you?
so Myth, he's the guy who runs Block Street, a big data. He was just with the guy in China. He said one of the things that the Tron guy did was, I forget what it was, a big conference, big crypto conference. He hired a whole bunch of Eastern European hot models, and they came to his booth, and so everyone went to Tron.
Tron.
And he's like,
That's a business. We call them the booth bunnies. They've been
Yeah.
around for a long time. I've been going to CES since I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And like seriously, I've been going to CES since I was 8 years old. My mom and my dad, or my stepdad, both had companies that were there. And yeah, there's been booth babes since the 90s. You know,
but he used the booth babes to build Tron. We
Good for
got
him.
List,
Microsoft used the booth babes.
Merge, there's your BitConnect, Zcash, BitShares. What else? Let's see, go, Populous, Waves, XT. What do you think of 0x?
I saw it on my Facebook ads, but I haven't read the white paper. That's usually a sign something's bad. It doesn't mean it always
They did
is.
that ICO
but
really
if-
well though. There was really small portions you could buy. I know people who like gamed their system though, so I don't know how many. You know what I mean? I don't know. They tried to have that coin be really distributed. I think was the goal with that one.
Well, that's a good goal to have, so I actually like that particular fact.
Yeah, I liked earlier this week there was an ICO for the Bread wallet, and Bread they only raised 20 million,
Yeah.
but they'd already raised 12 million. They're already the #1 wallet in the App Store, and they already have $4 billion inside of their wallet. So I like ICOs like that because your risk is kind of low when they've already got $4 billion.
Was it a security coin?
No, it's a wallet, like a storage.
So the
Storage.
utility is being able to use the wallet using the coin?
The app is live now, yeah.
Yeah, but their coin is.
Yeah, the
in order to use
utility,
the wallet.
yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Let's see. All right, I'm gonna take 3 questions, then we're gonna wrap up. I gotta record some private stuff. We're gonna record for those of you in the Bitcoin Crypto Academy, and also we're gonna record screen capture. So you need to go to tylopez.com/Bitcoin. I'm telling you, we've called some stuff that's been crazy. This is time-sensitive stuff because you see it's moving up and down. There's money to be made on both ends. Both ends. He's already. We need to look right. Okay, let's take some 4 smart questions here because we were live on. I guess I can't
How do
see
you read it
Instagram
that
here.
fast?
You know what? I
You get so many
actually know how to
comments.
speed read and
You
I
wanna
can
take it?
read all
Yeah.
these, but I can't see. No,
Maybe
just
you'll
leave
be
it
a great
there.
trader one day. You can read the ticker.
There we go.
Type one.
What do I like here? Some of these
What
we've
is it
already
about
answered.
Who created Bitcoin?
No one knows.
Satoshi Nakamoto.
Maybe Elon Musk.
Can EOS go to 100?
Doubtful.
Yeah, not many people.
Someone
I
else-
read that in. I read that in a
Someone
stupid.
else-
I know, it's from
Bloomberg
an
or something.
intern
Yeah.
wrote that article.
Yeah, an intern
Talk
wrote
about a poof piece. So much insider information that one must have.
What website do you guys use to check rates? Joseph Easton on Facebook. Do you use
CoinMarketCap.
use
dude.
CoinMarketCap?
Yeah,
CoinMarketCap is-
It's now like a top 80 Alexa site in the
Like if
world.
I'm on my phone like this, right? I'll be doing that. But I have like Coinigy, for example. You can see
Which one?
Coinigy, which is like
Yeah.
a professional trade platform. Those guys are great. I like those guys at Coinigy. Shout out to those guys and Derek at Coinigy, the CFO. I know they're working hard on a bunch of cool stuff right now.
Preve is another one that some people I know use.
And then there's another project coming out right now too that's really cool. I know that their materials were just cleared by legal for me to show, but I don't know if I can talk about it yet. But they're building some really cool next generation trading tools, and they're building these terminals. And I'm going to actually be giving one to you, Ty, so that you can check that out and show it to people. So that'll be your
I
Christmas
like
gift.
it. I like
it
it.
out.
Let's see. Okay, that's question number 1. We got 2 more. Okay, I like this one. This comes from Samuel Zib on, look at YouTube, boy. YouTube, it's interesting. YouTube Live is less viewership than let's say the other platforms, but boy, people engage. YouTube's done a
Because
good
they're in
job
front of their
their life.
keyboards, so
Exactly.
they can type faster.
So the question was, let's just call it a prediction.
Yeah.
And we know we're going to be wrong. Nobody that's predicting is going to be exactly right.
Yeah.
No one's going to be exactly right. Let's do a 1 month, 3 month, and 12 month guess. on where Bitcoin, just Bitcoin, there's so much more to talk about, where it's gonna be?
1 month, 3 months, and 12 months.
1 month, 3 month, 12 month. We know we're gonna be wrong. It's just a wild guess.
I'm gonna say in a month, Bitcoin could be at 24,000.
Okay.
Yeah,
3 months.
3 months,
It could be at 40.
it could be at 40. It could be in a dip, but you know.
It could be at 40, it could
Just
be at 10.
roughly around 3 months.
Yeah,
from
I
now.
would say like 40, and then I'd say a year out, it could be at 75,000.
And also a year out, it could be at $1,000 in Bitcoin cash.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Make sure you stay on your finger on the button because you know sometimes winners mean that other things are losers.
Firing away.
Yes.
Next like that, I'm going for it.
And it just, but remember, it might not be Bitcoin that wins, like you said. It might be Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah, we don't know.
Or it could be something else.
Yeah, we don't know.
Dan,
Depends.
what are you going with?
I like 15,000, 20,000, 50,000.
And that's
Okay.
a minor saying that, so.
15, 20, 50. I'm gonna be the objective interviewer, so I'm not gonna say my opinion.
Ty thinks it's going to 10 million.
I want it to go. I wanna push the price to 3,000 again, so I can buy at 3,000. I do not fear.
Yeah, so Ty thinks Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme, guys.
Yeah, sell all your Bitcoin. I'll buy it for you. I need enough people buying it that there's trading volume. One thing that I think is an interesting statistic that I posted. It's funny. I posted a tweet about this, and I was quoting somebody else, and then I get like Google alerts, and it was like all my Google alerts were going all around the world. They were quoting me. Crypto expert Ty
Oh my
Lopez.
gosh.
I had said in the tweet I was quoting something else, but what they said, somebody did the math, and he said if the wealthiest people in the world, okay, these are the millionaires and billionaires, put 1% of their holdings in Bitcoin,
Yeah.
that it would hit around $60,000. So the point being, and that math is not perfect. The point being, there's realistic projections that this thing could be worth,
So much room.
you know, a lot.
I
A
think
myth
there's more
is sure that
millionaires. There's more millionaires than there are Bitcoins.
Yeah,
that
there's
will
more
ever be on the
millionaires.
market.
There's-
Yeah.
so
Oh, sure.
Not every millionaire in the world can own a Bitcoin,
No.
even if they wanted to.
No.
So guys, go out there and try and grab them while you can.
Remember, they can be fractionalized.
These
so
guys
you
are
don't
chewing
have to-
people's arms off for Bitcoins right now.
Yeah. And I want to just throw out one devil's advocate so we're real objective here. Remember, in the internet 1990s, the internet won, but individual players disappeared, like Webvan.
Pets.com.
The Webvan founder was here at my house, and it was an $8 billion company or $2 billion at its peak, and it went to zero. So crypto is probably going to win. Blockchain's probably going to win. It's hard to know which of these coins, which of these companies will continue to survive. Some of them will disappear. It doesn't mean the whole technology is invalid.
Yeah, so either you try to blanket everything that seems good with a small bet, or you stay with your finger on the pulse, and if you think something's gonna take off, you place a bet on that. You know, if it's all based on news, so read the news, determine if you think it's important or not, and if you're not technical at all, maybe ask your friends that are.
Okay, last question. This is a good one. Gerardo Contreras. You guys keep talking about how great the blockchain has become. Like any good project, though, there's good and bad. What do you think the blockchain could negatively affect in the world?
Well,
Good
you
question.
can't bring a big bag of money over a state line and do anything with it and then like have no record of it anymore. So
Pablo Escobar would be sad to be alive.
yeah,
right now.
Pablo Escobar would be really sad if a blockchain existed because that shit is forever. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
You know? And every transaction that's ever taken place on a blockchain still exists in a bunch of people's hard drives.
I think the negative impact is similar to the robots taking over. Like,
Yeah.
if McDonald's puts in terminals to take our orders, well, McDonald's employs 3% of our U.S. population.
Yeah.
So if
Jobs
millions
for
of
all.
people are gone, right? So blockchain is similar. There's some things that it's going to do that are going to make other things inefficient or obsolete.
Yeah.
So
If
it
you're a
does that-
title agent, go back to school.
yeah, exactly.
William's very blunt.
There's just too many things that the blockchain is. And by the way, this is the first year that
Yeah.
all the smart people are starting to work on blockchain.
Yeah.
Right? 2016, 2015, the wizards were doing it, but now 2017, 2018, it's cool to do it. So now you got so many smart humans that aren't working in Silicon Valley. Now they're working on the blockchain. They're working
Yeah.
on crypto.
They wouldn't even take us seriously. I mean, like, we pitch blockchain into a big company, They take the meeting and then they wouldn't give us a consulting contract.
Yeah,
'cause they were
everybody now who calls me is like, oh, why didn't you tell me, man? Why didn't you tell me? I'm like, dude, I got tired of trying to convince
Exactly.
anyone.
Yeah.
So it's
If you want a real tip, go become a developer programmer. You're gonna get offered 6 figures a year.
Oh,
plus
yeah.
Oh,
scholarships.
that's the bottleneck in the next year.
Yeah,
Exactly.
already, not
No,
even the next
uh,
year, now.
We're dying to find people all the time.
I mean,
Look
like,
at look at
really.
Coinbase. Doesn't Coinbase have 20 engineers?
They hired 1,600% more
Maybe.
employees this year, and they still have nothing compared to what they need.
Yeah, they need-
I
they
read
need
they had
something.
20 engineers. There's
They
no
need
way
more.
you're gonna 20? That's not gonna handle. That's why.
I know, but not every
We have
engineer is
projects like,
qualified.
well, this
That's
is-
what I'm saying.
This is a perfect opportunity. to
But I'm
talk
saying you
about
need
this,
more.
Developers and yeah, go to
Academy.
school.
We got Academy, yeah, which is run by Jason King and those guys. It's going to be amazing. They're building a whole blockchain university.
Yeah.
It's actually a project that Distributed Network Advisors, our advisory firm with Brock and those guys, is
Yeah.
advising. We love that project. We think it's great. So if you want to learn about blockchain development, that will be available to you very soon. It's called Academy.
I shot a video for them in Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay, someone said, are these guys already millionaires? Everybody here's made a penny or two in their day. It's not who makes the most money, it's who enjoys their life the most.
Yep.
And who has a positive impact on things. So hopefully, this group's done good stuff. So
This has been a good year for everybody
Yeah.
who's been in this.
It's not about
industry.
making money.
That's
It's
what you
about
guys need to
enjoying what you're
realize.
doing.
It's just, it's
Yeah.
been a good
it's
year.
not about making money unless you're William, because he enjoys making money.
Yeah, I enjoy making money, but you have to enjoy what you're doing. I also
Unless
enjoy-
you're a Virgo, then it is about making money.
I mean,
I just like the game. I just like the game of it. It's so
Yeah.
fun. And getting so many people to talk about money and investing, like my mom, my aunt, my uncle, my nephew, like
Yeah.
I sat there and put 1 Ethereum on each of their
Yeah.
wallets, and they didn't know what a wallet was before that dinner. You know?
Oh, yeah. I've been
So
sending
it's
my
just
dad.
fun.
But when did you have that conversation with them? A year ago, right?
No, early summertime.
Okay, well, that's 6 months before all the rest of the conversations are about to happen in what, 3 days?
Oh yeah, on
That's
Christmas,
the rest
on
of it.
Christmas Day. Good luck to Coinbase on Christmas Day.
And don't
Oh,
lose
Coinbase
your
is
private
over.
keys. Don't lose anything. Don't give out your private key. My Zach, you guys know he's at Christmas, but his uncle, somebody gave him I think 25 Bitcoin
Oh my god.
3 years ago, and he can't find it.
Oh my god.
So he's got 500 grand somewhere
Oh,
floating
Sad
around,
story.
I hate that.
pulling his air out all the time.
That's so
Dude, if crypto goes to if Bitcoin goes to $1 million,
Then he's really not going to be.
and you have 20 Bitcoin that you can't find,
Dude, he's going to be.
you are going to literally be tearing down your house with crowbars.
Yeah.
You're gonna go live in the woods somewhere. And just forget about technology, man.
Shoot
Just
yourself.
make fires and just eat raccoon or something. You're done. You're done. I feel for you if you lost Bitcoin though. So I'll be fine.
Yeah, people just have corrupt, like, USB drives with their private keys on
Some,
them.
some guy in England did that, and he it was $15 million worth in August. So now it's probably like 90 million, and they said he was in the dump looking for his flash drive.
He just like threw everything out. That's why I don't throw stuff out, man.
No, man.
I've learned, like all you entrepreneurs, don't throw receipts away. Don't do I got a friend, James Swanwick. He went and he was he worked as a freelance reporter. He has these amazing interviews with Hugh Hefner and Robert De Niro and all this 20, 30 years ago, and he recorded them all. And I was like, can I hear them? And he's like, I threw them away last time I was moving, and I'm like, now Hugh Hefner's dead, and all these people. Be organized in life, please. Especially with this. Remember, in a way, you become your own bank.
Right.
Especially if you're using, cold storage. This is yours. It's like gold. If I hand you a bar of gold and you're moving and you throw the bar of gold into the trash, you're gonna be like Dwight Schrute in The Office with Steve Carell. You're gonna be searching at the dump.
Yep.
Yep.
I bet you there's people searching at the dump.
Right now,
There's someone
There's
searching
someone out there looking
there's
for
some
the
poor soul just covered in trash and banana peels looking for his bitcoins.
I think we should start
God
Mark
bless
Rapallo's
you. Yeah, get Mark Rapallo's house. That's where they are, buddy. Yeah, he's drinking a frappuccino right now with your bitcoins.
You know those dudes at the beach that like have those little sand things? They're gonna have ones that detect like little
Get on
wallets.
that. Get on that, man. We'll make the first one. And
Actually,
then we'll
the
sell it
internet
after
is
the
being
music.
scanned for all the wallets right now.
Yeah.
There's
Really?
people that are aware of these things. Yeah. They
There's some
reported that.
firms doing that. Yeah.
Scanning the whole web and just figuring out where all the wallets are.
For Galax, right?
All right, we're going off air because everybody got stuff. Well, we're gonna go record a little bit of stuff. For those of you, trust me, TyLopez.com/Bitcoin. Smart people. Brock taught lesson 1. Okay, this is the guy that's the foundation, the chairman of the Bitcoin Foundation. co-founder of EOS. You're teaching in there. You're teaching in there. We're gonna get you in there
Yeah.
next. And then for those of you who are already in TyLopez.com/Bitcoin, it's an 8-week program. It costs a little bit of money, but it costs more money to miss a trend. So people are stupid. They'll be like, oh, I'm gonna spend money learning. Well, I've spent $400,000 this year traveling around learning from the top crypto people. I just counted it up. I was doing my accounting.
It's a good investment.
That's good.
Dude, I spent 400 grand. You can make back 400 million if you do it right.
That's true.
See, it takes money to make money, but you can start out with under $1,000 bucks.
It's the greatest wealth transfer in the history of the world.
Yes.
And it's people, regaining control of their money for the first time since money was just materials like gold, etc. shells. You have control of your money.
Yeah.
If you lose it, it's your fault, but you have control of your money and no one can take it from you. So
Someone said that guy William looks like he's 15. You
that's
look
nice. Thank you.
15?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I like that. Thank you. I have boyishly good looks. Thank you for whoever said that.
All right, guys. TyLopez.com/Bitcoin. Thank you for being here.
Man, thanks, Tom.
Thanks, man.
Awesome.
Do you want to do social media like you've been doing? Want to get their social media?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Throw out your social, wherever you want people to go to learn more about you.
It's at Dan Fleischman.
Or it's at TyLopez.com/Bitcoin. You can learn from him. Where you at?
I just made a Facebook page so you guys can catch up with different things that I'm doing. I wasn't on social media much before that, but you can find me at CoinSlinger on Facebook, and then on Twitter, I have had an account for years, which I used to call StockZone, but I'm starting to call CryptoZone again. It's bottomfeed_NYSE.
I knew it was going to be something crazy. Bottomfeed_NYSE.
Yeah, New York Stock
He's
Exchange.
destroying the New York Stock Exchange.
Bottomfeed all day, baby.
Right now, I don't use social media
Wow.
a ton. I'm on Instagram.
He's afraid of
I
it,
have
'cause he-
BIGJAMIN1, so Big Jammin1.
Big
Had it for a
Jammin1.
really long time. I mostly post up just pictures of like my life.
JAMIN.
Food, definitely some food.
You
some
want to know his
hotels, things like that.
beard balm? You're going to go there, learn more about beards.
Yeah, learn more about
Was
beards
that
and
Jammin,
crypto.
JAMIN?
Yeah.
What is it? What's the name?
Big Jammin?
Because like my name is Benjamin, so and my initials are BIG, so
Oh,
I
yeah,
always
yeah,
said
yeah.
BIGJAMIN1.
With only one? Isn't Jammin with 2 M's?
Well, my name is Benjamin, which only
Oh,
has
okay.
one M.
Oh, I got it. I get the joke.
Ah.
Yeah. That's
Big
good.
Jammin 1.
He'll be talking about technology on there very shortly. You can follow him there for sure.
Someone said, what is black? Someone said you look like Seth Rogen.
Me?
I don't
No,
know.
probably me, because I have a beard.
Do you look like Seth Rogen? Do you get called that?
Hey,
I'll take that.
whatever. I'll take it.
You know, I FaceTimed with Seth Rogen not too long ago in my backyard, and he was high. What? I was sitting, no, it was a Skype actually, and I was like, I wonder if he knows who he's talking to. He was just like, he's a jolly guy.
Man.
All right, man. Talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Someone said Claire is better looking than those guys. Who's Claire? Probably sounds like she's better.